Okay, so this is just a short tutorial on how to make a little fish design in Illustrator. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to want to open up Adobe Illustrator and create a new file. We're going to use this preset here for web. If you don't have that show up, you can always just type in the value here. So if you change this drop down here to pixels, type 1920 in the width, type 1080 in the height, and you will get the same thing. Once your screen looks like mine, we're going to give this preset a name and we're going to call it fish. So we're going to click create. Perfect. Once we've done that, we need to find a color scheme. So to do that, we're going to use this website called Adobe Color. You can find that by just doing a quick Google search or clicking the link on the Google Classroom. Once you're into Adobe Color, you are going to come to the Explore page and you are going to search for a color that you will use for your project. So I'm going to use the color blue and then use different shades of the color blue, but you can do whatever you like. Once you have found a color scheme that you like, we're going to create a screen grab of that color scheme. So snipping tool on a Windows or Command-Shift-4 on a Mac, and then save that screen grab somewhere you can access it. So for me, it's just going to go to my desktop. But for you, you might put in your multimedia folder, and then you just drag it in like that, and that will import that image. Once that is there, we're going to scale it down a little, and we're going to put it in the center of our artboard. And this is what we're going to use throughout the project to change different colors as we go through. So to change colors, all you need to do is press I, and that will use this eyedropper tool. And then if you select a color like I have done here, you will see it changes the fill box to that color. So as I move along, if I click, it changes the color. So a very handy tool to use when creating illustrations. Once you're happy with this, we're going to create a new layer and we're going to call it body. On that layer, so make sure you have it selected, we are going to draw a oval shape that resembles the shape of a fish. So something like that is fine. If you want to change the color of it, all you need to do is press that eye tool and then select the color of the body that you desire. So I'm going to use this I'm going to use this shade of blue here. Once you've done that, you're going to want to create a new layer and you're going to call this tail. You're going to copy this body shape and you are going to paste it on this tail layer like I've done here. Scale it down so it's much smaller and put it somewhere close. Once you've got this, you're going to want to come 3 down on this left hand side, right click, and you're going to want to find this anchor point tool. You can also find it by pressing Shift C. Once you've got that, you want to click this shape here, click this shape here, and click the tail of your body. So it creates that effect like I have here. You're then going to want to put this in place. So line it up how you like, but this is the sort of shape you're going to want to create at the end of the tail of your fish. So I'm going to put that there. Once you have it how you like it, Command C to copy, Command V to paste. You're then going to put it over your previous tail image. Right click, come down to transform, and click the reflect tool. This will just mirror it. So when you move it into place, it creates a nice balanced design like I have here. Cool. So far so good. Next thing we're going to want to do is we're just going to bring in this head a little bit by using this direct selection tool here. So you can just click that or you can press the key A and we're just going to select that anchor point there and we're just going to drag it in slightly. So you should have something like that. Cool. Once you've done this, you want to create a new layer. We can just leave it as layer 4 for now. And you are going to create different ovals over the top of your shape. So the first one you're going to want to do is going to go here. Press I, make this one color. You're going to want to do another one at the tail. Again, press I and change the color. You're then going to want to do one at the head. So somewhere like this, and make that its own color by pressing I. Once you've got that, you're going to want to use this direct selection tool by pressing V or just clicking up here to select all the objects in your design so far. You then want to come down here to the shape builder tool, click that, and then you're going to want to press Options on a Mac or Alt on a keyboard, and you're just going to want to click to remove all of these outside elements that are outside your fish to create the design, something like that. Cool. I'm a little bit unhappy with how that's come out, so I'm just going to press Command Z and I'm just going to move this last circle here a little bit out. And this one a little bit in. And I'm just going to quickly do that again for you. So, Shape Builder tool, select all the objects, Shape Builder tool, Options, delete. Like so. Once you have that in a position that you are happy with, we are then going to create the gills for our shape. So to do that, we are going to create a new layer again, call it gills. And we are going to create 4 circles or ovals using, I would say, the darkest shade you have in your color scheme. They're going to sit there, there. Then you're going to do the same at the bottom. Get them roughly in the position you want. You don't have to do 2, you can do more than 2. Once you have them somewhat where you like, you're just going to move this layer. So if you click it, you're just going to move it down below the body layer and it will create that effect like that. So this is what I mean. If you are now unhappy with the position of these, you can always just shuffle them and move them to how you desire. And if you want to add, say, a 3rd gill, just copy that shape, paste it, and you can move it as you see fit. So once you have these gills where you like, we are then going to create the eye. So we just need to make a new layer now, and we're going to call it eye. And then we're going to draw a circle using the ellipse tool. If you hold shift, it will fix it to being that circle shape. Get it to the size you like, and then just move it into the position that you think. There we have it. Looks something like a little fish. The last thing you can do, if you would like, is you can add a mouth. So you can use this arc tool here, and just by clicking roughly where you think the mouth would go, you can create a little smile for our fish, like I have done here. Again, don't have to. That's just a little bonus activity if you would like. Cool, at this point in time, you're probably just shuffling things around to make it more how you like. But there we go. There's our little fish on Illustrator. So once you get it to a point that you're happy with, we're going to export it. So I would delete the original color palette, and then I would use this selection tool here just to get it somewhere in the center. So if you have smart guides on, it's going to be a lot easier. They should be on automatically. There we go. And if you want to, you can press T and you can add your name above your design in a font that you like, something like that, so I know it's your work. And then we're going to export this image. Just put it down there. So we're going to go File, come down to Export, select Export As, select Use Artboards, select All, put it in your multi-folder. I'm just going to call it Fish. Then we're going to click Export, and you'll get a little preview down here. So if it's looking funky, it's probably because you didn't click that Select Artboard box before, and then click OK. Check that folder, and you should have your little design like that. Cool. Thanks for watching, and I hope this wasn't too difficult to follow along.